Hi, everyone. Welcome to College Financial Prep's Preparing for College podcast. Excited to welcome you today. I'm Vicki Vollweiler, founder of College Financial Prep, and I have with me Melissa Schwartzman from Melissa Beth Counseling. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. A topic that doesn't come up often or often enough, I think, or at least in my world, because I'm mostly dealing with the financials, is what happens once the kids go to college. Parents may need to reconnect with one another, and if you're a single parent, then what? All of a sudden it's empty nest syndrome on your own. So Melissa's joining us today to help us figure out what's next.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it.
So, what's like a piece of advice that's applicable to all?
Right. Well, I think it's really important to accept that this is a transition and allow yourself to have feelings about it. Don't like say, oh, I got this when you're really missing your kid or feeling really different, that your routine is changed up. But this is a tremendous opportunity for you to think about what you want to do as an individual. And then if you're in a couple and a co-parenting or any type of relationship, figure out what those goals might look like with somebody else. Now that you have to think about things different. For single parents, right? You've spent a lot of time with your child, really focusing on them. And now what's there for you? What hobbies have you not been able to do? What do you want to think about recrafting yourself? And then couples who have been really focusing on their kids and maybe drifted apart a little bit with the divide and conquer mentality, it's time to reconnect and see what you want to do together and what are some other individual goals that you want to accomplish yourself. Same thing.
So, let's talk about parents reconnecting. Um, can you give everybody some tips, or what
Abs-
are what do you suggest for parents that are thinking like, oh no, the baby's going to college, and now what?
Well, I think it's okay to realize that you may have drifted apart a bit, right? Because that was the natural process of having a different lifestyle with kids. So I think it's important to sit down and kind of check in. What maybe somebody has taken on a new business opportunity, or someone's doing something different with their career, or they've taken on a real fitness and wellness opportunity. So ask them about what's going on and in turn share what's going on with you. Then also say, well, what do we want to maybe do together that we haven't done in a long time? I think reintroducing date night, if you're in a couple marriage relationship, is a really fantastic way to kind of go back in time and relive certain things. But I also think it's really important that everybody's focused on what they want to do for themselves.
Very nice. And for the person that's thinking, well, I don't know what I want to do. How do they get over that hurdle?
Exactly. So I think it'll be a challenge at first because there might be this extra time to fill with space. So I think it's digging deep. Like, is there something I've always wanted to do that I've never done? What would I have done if I had this free time all along? Have I not reconnected with friends, family? Have I wanted to maybe do some sort of fitness and wellness for myself? I think the key is that you're able to really say, what do I want to do for me when I've been giving so often to my children? And maybe what do I want to do with my partner or spouse that we can do things? Maybe it's travel. Maybe you've had this bucket list of places and maybe you'll be able to do that. But I think it's really important to be able to think about this as a new beginning and a transition that could really be a bright, happy place to be in.
So, do you think there should be a bucket list for each person, or can couples have a shared bucket list too?
I think both. I'm a big advocate of people really having individual things that they enjoy, that they've wanted to accomplish. And then I think it's great to have many things that are shared experiences or shared goals or shared aspirations that people can do together. So I advocate for both, and I advocate for checking in about what that is. It's easy to start and make a list, right? Hey, let's sit down. What were all the things we wanted to do? What were all the places we ever traveled? And then I say, don't let it sit. Have regular check-ins. I even start with like once a week. Hey, what's going on here? We're making these goals now. Where are we with them? What other things do we want to add? What can I do more of or less of now that maybe there's not as many household chores because there's less people living there? Or if you're an individual, like, what do I want to do that I could do differently now? I know sometimes people are like, I'm going to change up that room and I'm going to make it an office or something, but that's an option. But think about what that's really going to mean when your college student returns home for breaks.
So give us some tips or something, that you've seen with your clients. What if parents are really struggling?
Yeah, I've often seen that one parent reacts differently than the other. One is like really lonely without their child or children in some cases, and others are like, I have this newfound freedom. I'm going to want to do everything I possibly can. So I also think it's important to make those adjustments if you're in a couple for that and be patient with the other person and also understand that not everybody handles things differently. But sometimes we're really too much of an extreme, it really means that there is something behind it. So the very crux of it all is you have to be patient with yourself. You have to realize this is a transition, this is new, and it takes some time. So don't say, when I've been giving this advice, right? Get these goals out, get started, figure out what you want to do, bucket list, not all at once. Let's take incremental steps to get used to things. And when you get used to something, then you go a little broader and bigger. Remember, they're just going to be leaving and you're just going to be seeing what's different. That may change daily, weekly, monthly, seasonally. I would say communication is the most critical. Be communicating and open with yourself. And if you're in a partner or spouse situation, be really open about what you're experiencing and how you're handling it.
I know that I've had clients and, sometimes I'll be working with clients for a really long time and they become, more like friends. And some of them have struggled so much. Like I see as they're getting towards high school graduation and then, their orientation for college over the summer. And they're so upset, they're panicking, they're losing their child, that they think, I wish I had the words for them. Um, but I don't know what to say or how to guide them. Now I speak to them and, so imagine if this was last June when they graduated from high school, so now they're already, well into second semester or freshman year. And, those parents, they're doing okay. But it was rough for them in the beginning.
Well, I think a lot of parents that have seniors at senior year have like the last of everything, the last sport event for that season, the last time we're going to the honor roll breakfast, the last time we're going to get a marking period report. So I think that is emotional. And I think it's okay to share with clients this is going to be an emotional experience, and you're going to have to allow yourself to be able to express it and not hold back. And then I think you're going to see, though, your kids from college in many cases are going to be still calling for some of the same things that they weren't able to do on their own. So they might not be living in your house, but they're going to be very real in your life. So know that it is not like a big party that you now could just do all these things. But those that are really missing their child, I think it's important to also talk to them about, let them have something set up with their kid before they go. Like maybe if it's going to be, every few days, or just say, hey, just send me a text that everything's okay, so that there's that connection that's kept and that's established. I think that's a very important piece of things. But also, it's really important to let your kid kind of go and start experiencing things, maybe making some more mistakes for themselves. You'll be there to catch them, but letting them know. And everybody, of course, knows if you're when your kid turns 18, unless you sent certain paperwork, which I'll be clear about, that you have to have your proxy and different things set up with the college. If something happens from a health perspective and you don't have that set up, you won't be able to call it and find out. So make sure you think about what you need to do to set up with the schools. But I would say what I've been saying all along is give yourself grace, give yourself patience, and let it run its course. But reaching out to others that are experiencing this with you is amazing because those people are going to be the most patient with you to hear what's happening for you over and over again because they're going to want to share and they're experiencing it. So friends, family, and also there are mental health therapists available, right? If you're having a specific thing that you're really struggling with, or just overall it seems overwhelming, there are lots of resources.
And I assume don't burden your child with this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really trying to really let go a bit, right? To give them autonomy, to not say, "I miss you so much" when they call, or "You're not calling enough," or things like that, because then they're going to have maybe some guilt, and then they won't know how to handle that with you, right? And that's going to add them to have an additional element of something that's unexpected. That's why I suggest if you are a parent that you know is going to want to kind of know what's going on, and I get this a lot. I hate to be gender specific, but the moms with daughters sometimes get a lot more information than the moms with sons. So I think before they go, why don't you set up something that feels achievable and right, for a cadence to check in and keep in touch.
It's funny that you say that about moms with daughters and moms with sons. And yeah, I can see that. I have one of each. Maybe, maybe.
And yes, and then not knowing exactly what's happening. And then I hear also another thing just to call out is that when the students are coming home for the different breaks, sometimes they're not forthcoming with all the information. And you are like, well, how am I going to know where to get you? Or how do I know when your flight's going to be coming in? Or how do I know that I'm even going to be home and I don't have a commitment? So I'm hearing a lot about that too. So making sure you take a deep breath and be patient when the information that you need to maintain your life and do things for them isn't always coming together with great clarity.
Let's talk quickly, if we can. And this may be a really big topic, though. So as soon as the kids go away, it's like time goes on, and then they're back for Christmas vacation. And they're back for a month, and it's like this whirlwind hits the house, and all the laundry, and the kids going in and
Uh-huh.
out. And then they're as quickly as they came, it seems like it's time for them to go back. And parents sometimes get caught in that. And then if a parent is divorced, then you're sharing, the child is bouncing between houses and, managing all of that.
Yeah, so the time is very precious and it goes very quickly. And you are going to now, after you've gotten used to how your house is being run, you're going to get a crash course memory of what it was like. What? You don't get up till noon? What? You don't know how to put dishes in the dishwasher? What? You've been doing your laundry at school, but you can't do it at home? It's like, wow. And then you say to yourself, wait, how many more days are left? And also, you think that they're going to want to spend time with you, but no, they haven't seen their high school friends for a long time. And now they've made new friends at school that might be close by. So set your expectations about how much time they're going to want to spend with doing family time or individual time. And I think it's important maybe even to think about that ahead of time and carving out certain time that will be for that. And then for, divorced families, right? Same kind of thing, making sure that each parent's getting the time that they need, but knowing that the student that's returning, your child, may be very peer centric. I get a lot of clients who say, "Oh, my son or daughter's home, but I've been waiting for them and they don't want to spend that much time with me." And that can be hard. But again, this is a new transition. Look what a great job you did with your kids, that they're thriving and independent. But plan ahead if you want to nail them down for certain things that you want to make sure you want to get time spent.
That's fabulous. Uh, it's amazing how quickly they grow up, how quickly they go off to college, how
But I promise they'll still be calling for things. Well, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? Oh, I got this big tomato sauce stain on my shirt. How do I get it out, right? What do I do? My roommate seems to be, now giving me attitude, and we were going to every party together first. Like, what's going to happen? Oh, all these clubs. Which one do I do? And, how's the dog? How's the cat? You know.
Um, I don't know if people have heard the term. You may have heard the term, I'm sure, soiling the nest. Can you share a little bit about that with us for the parents that, may not be there just yet, but it's
Um,
come?
Yes. So when you're living in a house with your soon to depart to college, and you are realizing that you're not sure if you have a human being anymore or this demon that has been created, everything you say is incorrect. Ugh, the voice, the attitude. If you ask them to bring something downstairs, it's as if you've asked for them to donate their kidney. So what happens is they are acting out because they are trying to prepare themselves and maybe you for letting go of this connection that you have living together and being in the house. So I have seen people and my clients and some friends say, I planned this great graduation party for them and they're not speaking to me, or they have cursed me out, or they have said all these things. So this happens, and it's not just your child. So they have not been possessed. They are just trying to deal with their own emotions about letting go and having anxiety about leaving. So they are treating the people they feel the most comfortable with and love the most, the worst. Tried and true. So get ready. Again, you're going to have to take some deep breaths. You're going to have to be patient, but it's all normal.
Thank you. I so appreciate you sharing all of this today. Um,
Absolutely.
do me a favor, tell everyone where they can find you.
Sure. So, Melissa Beth Counseling, you can find me on my website, Melissa Beth Counseling. And then you can, if you want to email me, get any tips or insight, melissabethcounseling@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, Melissa Beth Counseling Mediation, and I'm sure we'll find a way to connect.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for being here today. And I want to thank everyone for joining us on this week's episode of College Financial Preps Preparing for College podcast. Bye.
Bye.